I've made a terrible mistake. This morning, having been away from YouTube, having published my first video back yesterday, I made the terrible, grave error of going back through and reading the comments that I will have missed whilst I've been away from YouTube. And I won't lie, it's very easy to sit here and say that I don't care about what people say, that these things don't affect me. But realistically, when you have lots of comments calling you old, stupid, a loser, don't know what you're doing, blah 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 blah, all this stuff, time and time and time again, it gets to you. So yeah, it's a bit strange because last time I was here, I do remember most of the comments being supportive, not necessarily supportive of me or of the channel, but supportive of each other, and generally a sort of a more positive approach to abstinence and recovery. And that seems to turn a corner, but I'm not going to let negative comment stop me. I will eventually, if everyone decides they don't like the content, that is not helping anymore, blah blah blah, then I won't bother doing it anymore. It's, you can tell this obviously bothers me, but it's, yeah, I had sort of thought about moving away from this channel, keep doing it, keep releasing like a video every couple of weeks or whatever, and sort of trying to sort of turn it into just a general sort of support forum for people, and going off and doing something sort of more entertaining for me on YouTube. Something I sort of doing travel and sort of exploring different places and that sort of thing, which I thought would be quite fun. Also, I thought, well, actually, if I can build another channel that is monetizable and can help sort of fund a little bit of time to spend on YouTube, then I can split it between that and then this channel, which I could then sort of demonetize and just leave purely as a sort of a resource for people looking for advice. But yeah, that has obviously sort of put that plan back a little bit, really. And I think if I was making that sort of general content, I think criticism would probably come more freely. Certainly if you put yourself on a pedestal as a vlogger or a YouTube personality, then rightly or wrongly you kind of expect that personal criticism would come with the territory. Doing what I do and targeting the people that I try and target with these videos, I find it hard to understand why someone would watch the video and then, for example, I've had a few comments about my age, be it looking older than I am, and I've acknowledged that, and I've said that myself, it is something I'm happy to joke about, but people obviously watch to substantial depth in the video to find out how old I am, to then make that comment. So why are you watching a video about gambling recovery, and then someone who's trying to help, even if you don't necessarily agree with my advice or you don't think that what I'm saying is overly helpful, you've come here looking for some sort of assistance with your addiction, and your takeaway is the fact that I'm look older than I am, that I'm going bald, that I'm overweight, that I'm a loser, and all the rest of it. And that to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It really doesn't. Yeah, this actually originally was going to be the intro to a different video, but I think I'm going to make that a different video now. Thank you to everyone who does support the channel, and thank you very much to everyone who supports each other on the channel, replying to each other and that sort of thing, because that is why we do this. I said I do get some pleasure from making videos, particularly when I get positive feedback and people saying it helps. I'd like to make videos that I'm personally more interested in. Obviously, this is a very, very important subject for me, but it doesn't mean that I'm necessarily overly interested in it. You can't really garner huge amounts of interest about not doing something. But I believe the message and the experience that I have could be useful to some people, not all people. And that goes back to what I was saying. If you might not, appreciate my advice. You might not think it's the right advice. Obviously, I'm sort of fairly consistent in what I say, and I've sort of always said that I don't necessarily believe in some of the sort of the GA motifs, and that I have my own way of dealing with things, and that's what I want to share. Yeah, and so you might not believe in that, and if you don't believe in it, that's fine. Don't subscribe, don't follow, don't support the channel. Look, I'm not forcing you to. This isn't a job for me. This isn't the videos are monetized, but I've said before, like, if I get 50 quid a month, if it pays for like a meal out for me and the wife every month, that's a good month. And I don't know, I think it's a shame. I know the Bandit spoke recently about getting death threats and stuff on YouTube. Obviously, this is nowhere near that sort of level. This is just personal criticism. It's just people being, just being unpleasant, really. And whilst you may have your own opinions on, people, affiliates, and people promoting gambling and stuff, and certainly I do. I think personal attacks, and certainly personal attacks to get to the point of death threats, are kind of unnecessary. You can be critical of someone's output, and if someone criticises my opinions or criticises a message or says that I maybe do things in the wrong way and that maybe I'm doing more harm than good, then by all means, mention it, because it might be something that I've overlooked, and it might be something that actually changes my opinion somewhat. But just to be critical seemingly for the sake of being critical, or the other one, which seems to be depressingly common, is, and I'll paraphrase to cover a sort of a whole wealth of different comments that I've received. People who are in my comment section trying to encourage people to gamble, saying, it's not a loser's game. You're just a loser if you don't do it the right way, or that you need to know what you're doing, or and sometimes there's an extension of that, and people are trying to sell roulette systems or fucking whatever, which I guess maybe I've got maybe a touch more respect for, because at least they have a commercial interest rather than just doing it to be malicious or trying to cause people harm or just basically being a fucking idiot. But yeah, funny enough, like I say, I hit record on this because I wanted to talk about a particular comment I received. It wasn't massively critical, but I actually think it was important. But I'll now stick down a second video. I don't actually know if this video is gonna make the light of day. Maybe it's just me rambling to myself. But if I have put it out, to all you good people out there, thank you for all your continued support. Stay safe, stay sane, and I will speak to you all soon. Speak soon.